if I come home and my daughter's saying, I don't want to be here anymore, or something like that, what can I do?
So your daughter is saying that when you walk in the door to try and get your attention and to communicate to you that she's distressed about something. And probably the more tired you are, the more she's going to ramp up her talk about suicide to actually make certain that she gets your attention. Okay. So one of the things you have to do is to actually take the time and ask her directly if suicide is what she's thinking about. Okay. So if she says, I don't want to be here anymore, I may as well not be here anymore, you need to drill down and ask her directly a way to do this is to say, sometimes when people say things like that, they're actually saying that they intend to kill themselves. Now I have to ask you this as your father, are you thinking about killing yourself? Are you thinking about suicide? Now, if she says, yes, I am, then you need to say, why are you thinking this? Do you want to talk to me about it? Let's go somewhere out of the kitchen and sit down and just have a chat about this. It's often a useful trick with young people to go for a walk with them because you're not confronting each other over the kitchen table, you're not looking at each other, and you're both walking and being careful where you walk, but it's so much easier to have that sort of conversation alongside each other. Often the other place is in the front seat of the car while you're driving with young people, again because you're both looking forward. However, to go back to when you walk in the door, if she says that, then you want to ask a few more questions. What's making you think like this? What happened with you today to lead up to you feeling this way? If she says yes, she's thinking about suicide, then you might say, what do you plan? Do you have a plan? And the more detail she gives you about a plan, yes, I'm going to do it when you go to bed tonight because then you snore and you sleep for 8 hours and I know that's when I've got the opportunity to do it. The more detailed a plan, the more concerned you're going to be, and you're then going to have to say to her, I'm going to ask your mum to sit with you while I talk to someone on the phone to see what help we need. If, however, she says, oh, I just had a really, really awful day and everything seems hopeless and I don't know what I'm going to do for a job or next year, or all these problems are piling up, or someone bullied me, or my boyfriend got moved to another class and I'm never going to see him again, or something like that, then spending some time with them, suggesting that even if you're tired, you actually do something together, ask what she would like to happen. Sometimes that's a useful question. What would you like to happen? It may be that she gives you an unrealistic answer, but it gives you something to actually work with. Bottom line, don't be afraid to ask them when they say something like that. Ask them directly if they're thinking about suicide. You're not going to put the idea in their head, but you are going to get an answer for yourself, which will give you some confidence in whether she's saying it to get your attention or whether she's actually got a plan.
Okay. What happens if she says, I don't want to talk about it?
You can go back to her and say, okay, so you don't want to talk about it right now. Is there something you'd like to do together? Go for a walk together or something like that. But you raised something which has worried me now, and so maybe we can talk about it later this evening, but we are going to have a talk about this tonight because I'm your parent and I have to make sure you're going to be safe around this issue. But we don't need to talk about it right now, and maybe you want to think a little more, and you tell me when would be a time that you're happy to talk about it, but I am going to have to ask you about it because that's my responsibility.
And if she refuses to talk to me, I mean, can I ring up one of these numbers and talk about it?
If she says, absolutely, I don't want to talk to you ever again, I'm not going to talk to you, not tonight, not tomorrow morning, never, then if you don't know what to do next, and you want advice or information, then by all means, that's exactly what, there are a whole raft of resources that are available, and you can try them all, or you can try one after the other if you are finding that you have a wait with some of them. Bear in mind that because of the current concerns around COVID, there are lots of people who are in a similar situation who are calling these lines for support. So you can always call 1737, which is our professional helpline number. You can maybe make use of your own employment assistance program, the EAP provider, because that will give you free counselling for yourself, and sometimes they give you free counselling for members of your immediate family, and that might include your daughter, so that's worth pursuing. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, EAP providers tend to work nice civilised hours, Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. So what I would always say is use as many resources that are available. Lodge a call with your EAP provider. They always take voice messages after hours. They will call you back depending on the severity of the situation. And then call 1737. So you've basically got 2 bites at getting help there. You can call the 0800 number at the DHB, the Mental Health Crisis Team. In an emergency, don't hesitate, call 111, and police will triage assistance. Police would far rather be called out on a 111 call and not needed than that they're called out if the situation became more serious. Police are very experienced at dealing with these sorts of situations these days. So in an emergency, remember, you've always got that as a backup.